Scott Golden Opportunities Coaching here with the at Pure Perception Twitter account and Golden Opportunities Coaching channel. Welcome, subscribe, rate, comment below. And today we're going to talk about it's never too late. You know, so often I hear and talk to people who are struggling with things that they feel they haven't done yet. I haven't found my right partner. I haven't talked to the right person. I haven't gotten out of debt yet. I haven't done the things that I should have. I haven't gone to school yet. I haven't fixed my relationship with my parents yet. I haven't started my business yet. I haven't found a way to get out of debt yet. I haven't changed my mindset yet. I haven't gotten over my weight loss issues yet. And the answer to all of those things is it's never too late. Understand that you've got to make measurable, markable goals and spend less time looking at the past and less time looking at the future than you do the present moment and your ability to create in that moment. You know, when you focus on the present moment, you have the power of creation in your hands. When you focus on the past, you have a good chance, a great chance to get into a level of regret, a level of self-loathing, self-hatred, maybe even suicidal ideation, depression, anxiety, frustration. When you focus on the future, the fear of the unknown can often compel you, and the number of choices you have to make can also lead to some major challenges, because if you feel like you can't make the right decision, or you're not able to make the right decision, or you don't have the capacity to understand the right decision that you should be making or need to make, then you'll begin to beat yourself up in ways that don't serve you well. You'll begin to look at yourself and say, I'll never get it right. Now, that I'll never get it right mentality leads you to places you don't need to go, including but not limited to the paralysis of the belief that it's too late, you're not going to get it right, you can't get it right, this isn't your time has passed, and all of those negative thoughts. Understand that what you have is this moment. Own it. Freeze frame it, make something of it, and only you can determine what you make of it. Your job doesn't define you. Your relationship status doesn't define you. Your racial background, your age, your schooling, none of these things define you. They're parts of who you are. They're components to who you are. But the whole being that you are is unlimited. And so when you begin to understand that it's never too late to win, when you begin to understand that it's never too late to underscore and start a new journey, and you look at life as a series of journeys rather than something that's a pass-fail objective. Also, too, you have to understand that you must change your perception and your perspective to be able to get to a place of positive progress. That means sometimes looking at the way you've used your time in the past and going, hey, that didn't work, but that doesn't define who I am. It doesn't define who I'm becoming. It doesn't define where I'm going or what I'm capable of. It's just a blip in time. You know, there's always a way to learn more today. There's always a way to connect with a new person today. There's always a way to study more today. There's a lot of changes in our tax code, or there's a lot of changes in where we are geopolitically. There's a lot of changes in all over the United States right now. And each one of those changes requires every one of us to respond. Your responsibility, that is the ability to respond, is yours all the time, every day, all day. And so it's never too late to learn something new. Start studying the people who have done what you're trying to do. Start asking more powerful questions. Feel that you belong in the world with people who are growing and not people who are talking about, you know, how the best is behind them. Always surround yourself with a progress mindset. Always surround yourself with people that are growing and going towards that level of leveling up. Because if you surround yourself with people, and I'm not talking about being positive all the time. Look, positive thinking doesn't work when you're in the middle of a crisis. But progressive thinking does. And that's why we call what we do here on this channel the Progress Tribe. Even in the moments where you feel everything is about to be lost, even in the moments where you feel you're about to slip, where something is going to get worse or you can't recover, there's always somebody that has it worse. There's always some way to look at this and go, what do I have that other people don't? When you begin to look for the reasons that you have blessings or advantages or things that others don't or that can benefit you, you also begin to open up different neurons in your brain, different neural pathways in your brain that allow you to be creative. It's never too late to gain a new perspective. Discipline your mind to go in directions it hasn't before. If you're constantly thinking the same thoughts, if you're thinking, I'm too old, look for someone older who's done something inspiring. If you're thinking, I'm too far from civilization or from the place where my career would really take off, look at people who are succeeding in small businesses or in professional endeavors near where you are. I'm too old to get into a relationship. Search for stories of people who got remarried or into committed relationships older than you. Always search for people that are doing what you believe is impossible. And with the glory and the curse, because the internet can suck a lot of our time, but with the glory of the internet, we can also search for, 80 and getting married for the second time, or lost it all in a hurricane and rebuilt a business, or these taglines of what people have done and can do and are capable of doing can be inspirational to us when we really begin to look, when we really begin to seek, when we really begin to see that if you're breathing, it's never too late. It's never too late to forgive, not for the other person, but for you. When you hold on to resentment, when you hold on to anger, when you hold on to hostility, when you hold on to the way things should have been or the pain that someone caused you, you rob yourself and the rest of the world. Let me explain. You rob yourself of the ability to be progressive-minded and continue moving forward. You rob the rest of the world from the best of yourself. And when you're doing that, people are missing out. The book that you haven't written, the play that you haven't acted in, the song that you haven't composed, the relationship you haven't entered, all of those things can't happen when you're in a negative, down, bitter mindset. And I'm not saying don't have the emotions of it. Have the emotions, but have a place for them, compartmentalize them. When they come forward, acknowledge them and let them pass through you, pass over you, and find a way out of them. It's never too late to look at somebody and say, what do I not know of your story? Each conversation we have, we get so lazy with our conversations. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. We get lazy. So why not have a conversation where you intentionally ask questions to things you don't understand to either deepen one of two things, the bond you have with the person with whom you're conversing, or your understanding of what their motivating factors are. When you understand someone's motivating factor, you can relate to them in a new, exciting, different, and sometimes compelling way that allows you to move forward and to grow and to get to a deeper understanding of who they are. And maybe that means that you've outgrown them and that you need to go a separate direction, or maybe that means with a new understanding you can deepen your relationship with them because now you understand what motivates them, what matters to them, and what is important. It's also never too late to admit when you were incorrect about something. Just because you have a passion for something, just because you have a way that you believe things should be, doesn't mean you can't admit to learning something new. You get your standards in life, so whatever your standards have been is where you're going to rise to. You're not going to rise above them very rarely. So it's okay to set new standards for yourself. It's okay to desire new things from and for yourself, but you've also got to say, hey, just because I didn't know something doesn't mean I'm a failure, it doesn't mean I'm a bad person, it doesn't mean that something is wrong with me, it just means I didn't have all the knowledge that I needed to have to be successful, that I needed to have to be able to grow and develop in a direction that was going to lead me somewhere meaningful, that was going to lead me to the promised land of whatever it was I was trying to accomplish. Set compelling and realistic goals. It's never too late to set a new goal, and it's also, and this is going to sound funny to some people, but it's never too late to celebrate yourself. Life can feel difficult a lot of the time, and when life feels too difficult, we often get down on ourselves. We criticize the decisions we made or the chances we didn't take, and sometimes it's important to tell yourself a new story about where you've already been so you can get where you're going. You will not get where you're going if you dwell on the perception that you think you've failed. You will not get where you're going if you think that ultimately you have done something that is beyond repair. There are people that have lost everything in life multiple times. They've lost children. They've lost limbs, either to war or disease. They've lost their perception. They've lost a career. They've lost a spouse. And they recover. Now, what makes that happen? It's because the story they tell themselves is there's something more for me out there, and it's not too late for me to make a difference. If you're drawing breath and you can still contribute to the world and you don't, that is the most selfish act you can make. It's not selfish to want good things for yourself, but when you stop giving and contributing to the world, that's selfish in a whole nother way, because who's to say that a year from now, a month from now, 5 years from now, you couldn't be in a place where you could help hundreds or thousands or millions of people even through the experience you think you can't get through right now. Be long-range sighted. Be end goal minded. Get yourself to a place where you understand that regardless of your age or background or circumstance, your life isn't over until you stop breathing. And sometimes they even bring you back when you've stopped breathing. So that might not even be the end of it for you. But the idea is, if you're still here, if you're still within earshot of this, it's never too late to chase your dreams. It's never too late to patch things up with somebody. It's never too late to forgive yourself for some of the things you've done that you thought were too far. It's never too late to look at your responsibility in previous missteps and say, you know what? I wasn't the best person then, but I'm glad I am who I am today, and I'm glad I went through those darker times because they made me appreciate the present moment. You are more than capable of conquering whatever's in front of you. There are two mentalities in life: the complainer's mentality that tells us everything that's wrong, and the current psychological model in much of what the world goes through is how broken we are and how difficult life is and all this stuff. The conqueror's mentality is, it doesn't matter how I feel, I'll get through it some way. I'm going to make it. You might even need to look at yourself in the mirror right now or somewhere in your house. Look in the microwave if you got to, the shine on the microwave, the shine on the toaster. Look at yourself and say, you're going to make it. Because the reality is, if you're still here, there's still hope. If you're still here, there's still growth ability somewhere in your life, and you can continue to grow, continue to go further, continue to find new ways to support yourself. There's a million reasons why a person can talk themselves into, stopping themselves or not making the progress that they're capable of. There's one reason to do it, and the answer to that one reason is, why not you? Why not be the person who makes history instead of excuses? Why not step forward into uncharted territory? Because if you don't, someone else will, and they'll make the money, and they'll get the fame, and they'll get the glory, and you'll go, hey, that could have been me. And that's the thing. You never know what can be, so every day needs you to show up. It's never too late either to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm pretty amazing, even if I haven't always had the right answers. I'm pretty awesome, even if I didn't always know what I was doing. I'm pretty, resourceful, even though sometimes I've said or done things that I look back on and shudder and want to headbutt a brick wall because I don't know what I was thinking in that moment. Look, life is a choose-your-own-adventure game, folks. It's a series of choices and chances that we take in order to get somewhere, to get to whatever our goals are, our definition of success is. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And if you buy into the belief, the misnomer that there is a right way to live and a wrong way to live, and there's only one way to get to success, then you're asleep. And I implore you to wake up to the reality that there's a million ways to get to the same point. There's a million ways to win. All you've got to do is find a way that works for you, that doesn't cause harm to other people, and you've succeeded at this game called life. You are a winner. You are a beast. You are capable and stronger and a conqueror and more than enough to be everything you've ever desired to be. I remind you that this is the Golden Opportunities Coaching Channel. Reach out to us if you have any questions. I ask you to leave a comment below. What is it that you are working on? What's it not too late for you to do? Until next time, Scott Golden reminding you, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.